Okay, this is the April 23rd town board meeting of Shamrock Lakes. It was rescheduled from last Thursday due to a medical issue with one of the board members. So present, we have Kelly Earl, who's on the board, myself, Mike Nichols, the clerk treasurer, Diane Nichols, and the president of the Shamrock Lakes Lake Association, Paul Bailey. So as anybody else comes, we'll introduce them. Could I have a motion to call the meeting to order?
Motion to call the meeting to order.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. And we've read the minutes from the last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from last month.
I second it.
Okay. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. The treasurer's report. We've had a chance to look at that, sign off. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion that we approve the treasurer's report.
Second it.
All in favor, aye? Okay,
Aye.
very good. Diane, past due accounts.
So there were 3 past due accounts that I sent letters to, and if they aren't able to pay, we'll file a lien probably at the beginning of next month. And that was the Arleys, the Grooms, and the Walker, for all of those for $354.10. And then another past due account was running at $191.98. And then there was one lien filed on Klein for $418.99.
Okay. Anything else on that?
No.
Okay. Steve or Kelly, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Do I have a motion to go into old business?
I make a motion that we open old business.
Sweet. Okay, motion and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. First thing on old business, the codification. Steve?
Yeah. Current update is I'm a little over halfway through reviewing all the, oh, darn it, that dropped in on my head. Not the ordinances, the other one. Help me, Diane.
Resolutions?
Thank you. Resolutions. I'm halfway through reviewing the resolutions. And then any of the new ordinances that we get, just a reminder, I need to get the final signed ones, which I did for the animal ordinance. Thank you, Diane. I've got that set up already in my spreadsheet and all. So anything new that we're working on, which we'll talk about some of those later on in this meeting, we'll incorporate those as we go. No major challenges so far, just as I find a ordinance that may need to be updated or reviewed for update or changes, then I'll notify the group and I'll send that one out with discussion points.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The maintenance projects. So,
Okay. I've got some updates on that.
okay.
All right, for the buildings, we'll start with the beach house roof. We're working that estimate, still trying to get a couple different estimates put together for the materials. Again, we believe that can be a self-help project. And I'll get that out to the team probably by the end of this, probably end of next week. I'll try to get that out. And then just the question would be which funding line we would pull that from, whether it's from the rainy day or the general fund.
Well, I hate to take it from the general fund, but I would say we could take it from the rainy day fund. I'm looking into, I think we can take it from the edit fund. We can use that for I think we can use that for repairs too. I'm still checking into that, so, but it would probably either be rainy day or the edit fund. I prefer to take from the edit fund, I guess, because that's what it's kind of for, and that will kind of save the rainy day fund for, you know, things that don't necessarily fall into a specific category.
Right, absolutely. Then the second piece to that is, Paul Bailey and I are, and the Lake Association is looking at possibly proposing that we, once we get the Wells Park garage up and running, which will be the next topic of discussion, that we convert the one, probably the room you're sitting in right now, as a Lake Association office, where we can lock that end up, and then the other side would be open for restroom use and changing rooms possibly. So we would propose that we do a little bit of renovation inside there to allow for those two things, and again, we could talk about that later as a discussion point between the two entities and how we would work that. But that's down the road. Just coming up with some good ideas, maybe possibly running an outdoor shower at on that end of the building there, closer to the barbecue pits that far in the east end of the building. Possible. Just thoughts, and it may have to go on the other end due to plumbing where it's coming in and out of the building. So anyway, just proposals that might come in the future. Just throw that out there.
Okay.
That's the only update on a separate building. I can move into Wells Park Garage next.
That'd be fine.
Okay. Wells Park Garage, we all kinds of different discussions I've had with the Lake Association folks when we had a meeting there last month before. Shoot, I've lost my months now. And anyway, so we're putting together some cost estimates for things to clean that up and make it really a nice facility for a community building. And I can tell you, thank you, Paul Bailey. Paul Bailey got an estimate to run a water well hookup and water and plumbing. And again, we're going to put together a proposal with all kinds of different information, diagrams and stuff. But he did get an estimate from Blue Collar to sink a well for that building and hook up the water and plumbing for a bathroom. Would be $19,650. I recommend, and we are going to get additional estimates for everything we're going to do. Make sure that we have at least 2 or 3 bids, or not necessarily bids, but proposals and cost estimates for each item. That way, we've got to get due diligence and try to get the best bang for our buck, if you will.
Right.
That's just the start. Again, we'll put together some additional estimates and plans, and I'll probably have that done by the next meeting, at least the initial plan part, and then we'll continue to gather estimates from there. So that'll be a long-term project, and of course, budgeting. We'll talk about that coming up on number 3 for that particular area. Repair of streets, I'm going to skip that because I think, Mike, you're the street guy, so I can't give you really much on that, other than I know we haven't set up the, I can't remember how you said, walking area, like across from my neighbor's house, right there in the intersection of South Shamrock and
Right.
Connor, I believe, right there. So if you don't mind, I'll just skip to the sewer maintenance.
Steve, can I ask one question?
Yes.
I noticed we're removing foliage along the creek. Are we taking down all the trees along that, or just the dead ones?
No, we're not taking all the trees out. Kelly, good question. That's are you talking the ditch?
Yes, sir.
Right there by the building that you're in.
Correct. No. The Wells building. Yeah.
Wells Park.
Yep.
Right,
Yes, correct.
yes.
Yes.
That's what he's talking about.
Yes, there is a property line issue, or not issue, but question with, the owner of the properties down through there. So, we only took down initially what, was on our side. And, based on the discussions we had, with the county, engineer and ditch manager, the proposal is in our continued efforts will be to take down anything that is definitely dead, anything that's causing erosion, possibilities, with it. And then of course, and with coordination to those property owners on the north side of the ditch there, the drainage ditch. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get new tile from the county for free. We're gonna fix that, culvert drain up there on the street and rerun it, dig it down deeper, so it's not running so fast, and, redo that whole area, backfill it, all that. We're gonna run that line, that new tile, a lot farther down into the, creek bed that leads into the lake. Again, all recommendations based off of the county engineer, or surveyor, surveyor, I apologize. And with coordination with those property owners. Did that answer your question, Kelly?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we, leave a little something to hold the dirt back, or, I mean, I don't know if you guys are planning to put rock in there or whatever, but, it's good that, you're communicating with the community and making sure that we're not overstepping.
Right, the owner, on the first house there, and I completely spaced her name.
Victoria Morris.
Morris, yes, Miss Morris. Mike and I spoke to her about those concerns and questions, and so we kind of paused until we spoke to her to make sure we don't, take out something that we don't need to. And we also have to be cognitive of, like, she has a invisible fence line for her dog. The good news is we didn't hit it. The second the good news to that is she had it up above ground so we could see it, know where it's at. And then in the future, she'll trench it and put it in the ground, she said. But that's once we get everything done.
Cool. And for the sake of the recording, this is a project that the Shamrock Lakes Lake Association is doing, correct?
Correct. Mike,
Okay.
that's property, that's part of the lake itself, all the way up to the road. And then, of course, the road is the easement part belongs to the town from the road. But the Lake Association owns that ditch as part of the lake. So,
Okay.
we take that on as a self-help project with the assistance of the county surveyor.
Gotcha. I was just wanting I think everybody in the room knew that. I just wanted to clarify that for the recording. So,
Absolutely, good question.
thank you. Sewer maintenance phase 2.
Yes, I did a proposal from, Fluids Waste Services, same company we used last year. I was very pleased and happy with their products, as far as the digital videoing, and then they only clean what's required to be cleaned or repaired. And then, any new issues like raising of the manhole covers and finding the one that was buried underneath the road that we had to raise up and gain access to. That was really good. So I recommend you stay with them. And their proposal is about $100 roughly more than was last year's quote. Now, I can't remember exactly what we paid out. Diane have to help with that for last year's because it reduced a little bit on what they had to clean out.
Right. Yeah, their estimate was on the high end.
Yes.
Which you would expect that, not knowing what you're getting into.
Right. And then we saved a lot of money because they only had to clean out, if you recall, I think, 3 short sections the line, and everything else looked very clean and was in great shape. So,
Okay. Do I have a motion to proceed with the sewer maintenance project, phase 2?
Okay. And that's the 11,790, correct?
Right.
Yes, I make a motion that we accept the FWS second phase cleaning and photographing project for this year at $11,790.00.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. From that point, Mike, I'll go ahead and start coordinating the scheduling of that project, and I'll make sure it's when I'm not in Hawaii and I'm back there to oversee it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
On the repair of the streets, so we have the estimate from E&B to do everything. It was more than what we could afford. So it's a matter, I still haven't prioritized what sections yet. So I'll do that, get it to E&B, and then they'll give us a lesser quote for that. So number 3, Wells Park budget.
There's no updates on that.
Okay.
Any word on that extra money that we're supposed to get, Diane?
No, I've been checking on it to see if it's hit, and I've not received any emails, and it's not in the bank. So I don't know. They did say it would take some time. I don't know how long, but it's not in there yet.
Okay, super.
Okay. Number 4, the town board vacancy, which we still have a vacancy that's open. If anybody is interested. You can't see me, Steve. I'm looking in the corner of the room towards Paul. So, okay.
Just say yes, Paul. Just say yes.
Sure. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll get you some information.
Did I hear a very weak yes?
Very weak.
Yeah.
He's already working for us anyway. He's getting estimates and got great ideas and experience. Come on, Paul.
So he's got a long resume.
He's not going to be able to walk out the door. His head's going to swell.
Oh, okay. I'll give him the information he needs for that. And we'll move on. Fishing lots. Anything? Okay.
So, after doing a lot of research and discussions with the Lake Association / Town Association attorney, Danielle Struble, we're going to have to update the plat restrictions and restrictive covenants, our bylaws, and our lake rules to include those. The reason it's on our list is because that plat restriction and restrictive covenants has to be approved by the town board. So we're in the process of drafting those corrected documents for review by Daniel Struble. I will present the draft for the plat restrictions and restrictive covenants to the board for comment, because there'll be some other changes that are tied, or recommended changes that are tied to the town stuff that would affect everybody in the community. So I would present that draft to this board first before it goes to Danielle for the final legal review. The Lake Association agreed that they should be included in the, all those documents to ensure that they follow the town ordinances and the lake rules, the Lake Association rules at the same time. So, we're in that drafting phase now on those three documents. Again, the plat restrictions, that'll come to the town board for review and comment for any other recommended changes or concerns to be addressed before it goes to the attorney. Yeah, I think that's probably enough. Unless Paul has something else to add.
No, Steve, the only thing I would add is that we're having them pay the same due amount that everybody else does.
Correct. Yeah. But yeah, that's Lake Association related. Really, the only thing for town is going to be that review of the plat restrictions. So.
Okay. Sounds good. The WCAG 2.1 AA compliance.
So there's not any of this, we don't have to be compliant with that until June of 2027. But Justin Heavenridge had emailed me some information to, and he said, our website, he kind of had taken a look at it. He said it's not in compliance, but a lot of it was like color and shading type deals, stuff. So we're still working through that.
Okay, thank you. IPS RMC, we've already had that update. That's that fund.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had anything, we haven't seen anything on it yet.
Okay. Heaven Ridge new build. And everybody should have gotten text from Diane. Okay, yeah, it's also in here. So originally he wanted to have his driveway come off of Angling, and there's some drainage issues there, considerations. And so he is going to he wants to run the driveway through the two lots that his father owns, and it would come out onto Lakeview, which probably be safer in the long run anyway. But and it would also cause the house to be turned 90 degrees from the original. And so this was sent out for you guys to review. We did a vote on the texting. That way he could proceed with his driveway this week. But if we could go ahead and formalize that with a motion and a second and a vote.
Hey, Mike, I've got a question.
Okay.
Not that it's relevant at this point, but it will be down the road. I think by virtue of him changing that access point, that he would fall under Crestwood Acres. Would he not?
Well, those lots are under Crestwood, but the house is under Shamrock. So where those lines are. And I would say it would probably be where the house is, because you don't really tax a driveway. So
So who would we talk to zoning about that? Maybe change the zoning for that house? Or
well,
just,
we would have to get that whole field changed. Because that whole field is in the town of Shamrock, but not in Crestwood.
okay, crazy comment. We're all in the town of Shamrock, but
Right. but it doesn't fall in Crestwood is the thing.
I think we'd love to have them in Shamrock Lakes and they'd have access to more bodies of water.
Right.
Okay. I'm good with it.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept the change, request change for the project to move his driveway entrance off of, what road is it?
Anyone, yeah,
Lakeview.
Off of Angling to Lakeview.
From South Lake Mike to Lakeview.
Do I have a
I
second?
second. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All in favor, aye?
Alright,
Aye. Okay, motion carries.
thank you, Mike.
Thank you. And he's gonna have best of both worlds, because if he is in Shamrock Lakes Lake Association, his father's in Crestwood, so he'd be able to use everything
Except Perry,
except Perryman. There you go. Under old business, we have the second reading of the ordinance for public participation at the town board meetings. And this isn't meant to muzzle or stifle anybody, but it's to bring order, because we don't have anything right now. You know, Kelly has been in plenty of zoning meetings and things like that, where if you gave someone an open platform with no time limits, they could go for hours. I mean, not that we're like the US Congress, but you've seen it where they've done that for reading books and all that stuff. But this was drafted by the town attorney. So, and we've had the first reading, and this is a second reading. And then, without any changes, then we would vote on it. Any questions or comments?
Yeah.
I recommend we approve it, Mike.
Okay, can I have a motion then?
You just made a motion.
Okay, and do I have a second? Okay, all in favor of the ordinance creating a policy regarding public participation at town council meetings, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Steve, a vote?
Poor guy.
What was that, Mike?
We just voted, yes or no?
No, I said aye.
Okay, sorry.
No, you didn't. Hey, Diane, one admin has Rachel's names on there. We'll have to take her off if you have on it.
Okay, thank you.
Football,
We will-
there.
Yeah, then we'll take her off and we can sign that next meeting.
Okay.
Close old business?
Yes, motion to close old business,
Yes.
and a second,
Second.
all in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Motion to open new business.
Okay, we got a motion to open new business. Steve, second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, we're into new business. And we have a park ordinance. And this is, it's a formality to name and designate the area that we bought from the Wells family that we call Wells Park. This formally identifies that town park. And so you've seen a copy, correct, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. And Kelly and I both have copies here. And so, whereas the town of Shamrock Lakes desires to establish, maintain a town park pursuant to Indiana Code 36131 on property that the town purchased in 2024 for that specific purpose with a common address of 43 North Shamrock Road, Hartford City, Indiana 47348. And the legal description will be attached. And whereas, because the resources and population of the town of Shamrock Lakes are limited, the park shall be maintained as a part of the regular business of the town of Shamrock Lakes. Whereas the town of Shamrock Lakes desires to create and establish a written policy regarding the use of the town park on the property identified above and as may be acquired by the town of Shamrock Lakes in the future. Now therefore be it hereby ordained by the town board of the Shamrock Lakes as follows. Section 1, the town of Shamrock Lakes Town Board hereby approves and creates a town park at the address of 43 North Shamrock Road, Hartford City, Indiana, and shall be maintained by the town of Shamrock Lakes Town Council. The town park shall be known as Wells Park. The town park shall be available for use as a recreational area for residents. The park shall be open from sunrise to sunset each day. No person shall be permitted to camp or stay overnight in the park at any time. All people using the park shall be required to maintain the area used, remove all trash, pet waste, and other items brought to the park. Individuals listed on the State of Indiana Sex Offender Registry, published and disseminated by the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute, are prohibited from all parks and other recreational areas of the town of Shamrock Lakes. Any person who violates any section of this ordinance shall be fined $100 for the first offense and $200 for each offense thereafter. A separate offense shall be deemed committed for each day during which or on which a violation occurs or continues to occur. This ordinance shall be in full force and effective upon its passage by the town council, its approval by the town council, and its publication in accordance with the law. That is the ordinance. So we have read it. When we adjourn this meeting, we can open a special meeting for a second reading and a vote, so it could become active upon passage today. Would that be okay with you, Kelly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Steve, would that be okay with you?
Yes, it will.
I
Of
was,
course, I do have some discussion points though, before we do that.
Okay, Diane's got something.
I was gonna say, the address, she has 41 North Shamrock. It's, what actually happened was, when we bought the land, we didn't think it had an address. And so I called the planning and zoning, and they assigned it an address of 41 North Shamrock. But then we started getting the electric bill and noticed that it had already been assigned at 43. So I had called to have that changed. It just didn't get done. So in Beacon Schneider, it still says 41, but I will call the zoning again and see if we can get that changed. So that's what is the history behind that. Cool. And then I know that we had some other property that we wanted to maybe designate as a park. Are we going to do a separate ordinance for each of those, or do you want
We'll do a separate ordinance
for each?
to gather those, but yes.
Okay.
Steve,
Mike, you're right.
go ahead.
Yeah, that was gonna be my recommendation, that way we don't have to mess with this one. And we'll have to somehow state in those other ordinances, or maybe we could combine the two properties into one ordinance that's managed and owned by the Lake Association. And again, that's a Dan Go question, because if the town designates them but managed by the Lake Association, that keeps those private.
Right.
My question on this one is because the town owns it, and it says that it's by use of residents, are we okay with that, to say it's a private park and the community at large around us is not allowed to use it? Especially if we, in the future, develop it in a way where it's like appealing to people to come and use.
Right. Yes, when I talked with her originally, that was a concern, was that we wanted to keep it private for the town. So what could open us up is if we had funding like from the county, like from the commissioners or something like that, that could open it up to anybody in the county. So, but yes, no, good point.
Paul and I had that discussion with Danielle, reference our two areas, Galway Park, which is deeded as Galway Park already. It's not necessarily have a formal designation by the town, but it is deeded that way. And then the other one is the beach house property, not the building, but the land. The land is not necessarily on the deed, but it is recognized on Beacon GIS as being owned by the Lake Association. So when we were having a conversation with Danielle, of course, I was pitching, hey, let's create a parks division and or section and combine all three together, and they fall underneath the town. And she goes, oh, don't do that, because now you're subjecting yourself to open to the public if the town owned it. That's why I asked that question.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just want to make sure that we're good with that. And we can control it. It's just legally, I don't want us to be subjected to, that park's open to the world, and these two are not, just by ownership. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm good. I'm good for going forward with the second reading as written.
Okay. We'll go through the rest of these new business items. We will close this meeting, then open a new meeting for the second reading of that ordinance. Okay. So next thing on new business, ARPA funds.
Okay, so Lorna brought it to my attention that the ARPA funds, she believed had been deposited, we had put them and we're storing them in the sewer works fund and not just the general sewer fund. And so when I paid that money back, I did not realize that, and I just paid it out of the regular sewer fund. So if you feel like it should have come out from the sewer works fund, we just need a motion to just repay from the sewer works fund to the sewer general fund, if you want to call it that, the money that was paid to the refunds that we had paid to ARPA.
Which that amount,
That amount was like,
doesn't matter, as long as I say fund.
yes,
So sewer works fund to general fund. Is that what you want?
to the sewer, to the sewer fund.
Okay.
The sewer works fund to the sewer fund.
I make a motion that we move the ARPA money from the sewer works to the sewer general fund.
I second it.
We're just paying the sewer back. That money's already been gone. So we're just transferring money back.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, aye? Okay.
Aye.
Very good. The next thing, and Diane is so efficient. Paul, here is a copy. Oh, okay. Thank you. The Blackford County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan. This is something that's updated every 5 years by the county emergency management director in each county. We're notified they have a meeting coming up on May 7th at the courthouse. I'll be out of town. Steve's out of town. Kelly's kind of on the mend still. But we have Paul Bailey, who is very versed in multi-hazards and so forth. And Paul is willing to represent us at this. And what this does, according to Jason Withers, the EMA director, this keeps us open for any mitigation funding should something happen here. So, yeah, that attendance is there. So, I don't think we need a motion or anything. It's more of an informational. We appreciate that, Paul,
No.
very much.
Something comes up, it's hollering.
Next thing is SAM, System for Award Management.
So this is a system that the federal government uses. And it is what I believe we received the ARPA money from. And the problem is that our registration is needing to be renewed. And, but I'm not able to do that because it can only be renewed by our SAM administrator, which was Rachel. And so I have some paperwork I need to fill out, but I also need it in minutes where you guys, if you want me to be the administrator, the entity administrator and the contact person, or if you want someone else, one of you want to do it, that's fine. We just need to have
Is this a pay change or you get more money?
yeah, no. Same money, more work. So anyway, so basically we just need to make this change so that someone that's actually in the town government is the administrator for this account. So if someone wants to make a motion to do that, but they don't have any, I mean, we're not gonna get any more ARPA money, but if we were to get federal, like a grant, and like if we were to search out grants for Wells Park or whatever, we might need this in the future. It's not anything that we need right now. I mean, we can let it lapse if you want. If that's not also an option, we can let it lapse if you want.
We might as well keep it active at this point. So could I have a motion to make Diane the administrator? Is that the correct title?
Yes, the entity administrator.
The entity administrator.
Nichols, the Sam's project, or representative.
So is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
I second it.
All in favor, aye? Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. 2816 South Angling Pike.
Okay, so this is the house that's in foreclosure, that McGarry's White House on England Pike, and we had a lien against it. And that lien has been paid by Carrington Mortgage. However, they're wanting to sell it to HUD is their plan, but they need us to release the lien first. Now, typically, we don't do that until, except in June and December, that's when we get our money reimbursed to us. So what I would be asking you to do is release that without receiving the payment. We've done this before. The house for Lakeview was the same deal. And I do have an email from the Blackford County Treasurer that says, yes, that lien was paid on 3/31/26. So if someone would
I would make a motion.
then maybe they could get that house sold.
And that's how it went the last time. You had to
Yes.
do it. They froze the money. They kept the monies until the
That-
June or.
Yes, that's what they always do. They will keep the money. We will get it in June. We're just not, typically, we get the money and then we release it. But in this particular case, so that we can help them facilitate the sale of this house, where I'm just asking if you want to go ahead and release that lien, even though we won't receive our money until June.
Question,
Yes,
so you say that they're gonna sell it to HUD,
that's what they said they were planning to do, yes.
and then HUD will resell it to an individual?
Yes, and that's exactly what happened with 4 Lakeview too. Carrington owned it and then they sold it to HUD.
And then HUD sold it to the current owners?
That's correct.
Okay, all right, great. Yeah, just to let you know that, I think from what being in the Lake Association now, I'm trying to figure that one out. I'm working with Carrington as well on that side, and I believe they're trying to evict the family that's in the home now.
Oh, okay.
They let that one slip when I was talking to them. They are in good standings with the Lake Association for 2026. They paid the dues, for that property. So, yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay, they are keeping up on the sewer payments too.
Okay, I make a motion that we, release the lien, for, 2816 South Angling Pike.
Okay,
Possible.
all, second,
Second.
Kelly seconded, all in favor, aye? Aye. Okay. Anything else on new business there?
We did, oh, yes. There is, I think I emailed it to you. So the couple, I think it's 11 Meridian Brewers, are wanting to, take down the deck that they have and put a new deck on. And they're doing the siding. I think they're gonna do the roof too, maybe, I'm not sure, they're doing all the work. But anyway, he couldn't be here. He actually took, day off last week, but he couldn't be here because of work, and so he sent us these plans. I think I already emailed them to you, if you had a chance to look at them.
Let me get to that. Gotta figure out where I put it. Hang on just a second, Diane.
Okay,
Everybody, sorry.
You're fine.
Try to find stuff. What did I do with that? Was that the one that said siding on it?
Yes,
yes,
See if I can- I remember it, I just didn't, I don't think I had an attachment, but, oh, it's not an attachment. Is this a new one or a, replacement?
from what I understand, he said they're taking off their old one and putting on a new one. I'm sending you,
I've got it,
you got it?
yeah, I got it. I just didn't, I'm looking for an attachment, but it's actually just included in the body. The picture.
Yes. Okay.
The only concern I've got based on that size is they're gonna have to have a building permit from the county. So if we approve it as approved, then, they're gonna have to have that approval, sent to the county. And they probably don't know that, they're probably not aware of that. Most people are not when they're replacing a deck. Trust me, I had to do it.
so we reply to them, Diane, and say, if we approve it, that's approved, and then can you put a line in there that?
They're
based on-
responsible to get proper permits through the county, yeah.
Yes. And typically what I do is I just send it to the planning and zoning and email them at the same, I mean, it's the same email, so everyone
Oh,
gets it at the same time, but I can do actually 2 different ones to make sure, to say, make sure you get your permit, you know.
Either way, I like that where you send it at the same time.
Yeah.
And just put it in the body of your email to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll save a step, but yeah, that's great.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the replacement deck for 11 Meridian?
I make a motion that we approve the plans for 11 Meridian.
Do I have a
I
second?
second.
Okay,
I second.
all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. And then I've got one item, whenever we're done with new business, Mike.
There was one more thing, and you guys all got this from Joe Lehman, and then Kelly had responded too about the muskrats. I didn't know if this was something you wanted to talk about, or just know about, or.
Sucks.
Well, I've got to follow up to DNR this week. So I'll ask that question about muskrats through DNR. But if it's a nuisance animal, kind of like raccoons, I think we can trap and euthanize, but I want to confirm that before we go official and say that to anybody in the town. But I don't think it's a lake association issue. I think it's a property owner association with awareness to both lake association and the town. Especially if it's some kind of a protected thing, which I don't think it is, but I would like to check all that first officially, and then I'll send an email out to the board members and the Lake Association board members with that finding once I talk to DNR, if that'll work for everybody.
Yes.
Yes, appreciate that very much.
No problem. I got to call him about the geese anyway.
And is Joe on your board, or you have his contact information, right?
I have his contact. He is not on the board, but I do have his contact info, and I'll feed him the same information.
Okay. Very good. Anything else, Diane?
No.
Paul, you got anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Kelly, anything?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Steve had something.
Did you have something else, Steve?
I do, actually, 2 things. I mentioned geese. So there's discussion about removing the geese out of the town. We are currently, as the Lake Association, getting estimates, but based on the feedback we're getting from the first proposal, if we don't do it across the town on all of our bodies of water, it's going to work against us because the geese will just get up and fly to one of the other ones and they'll be chasing them all over the place unless we have approval from the other 2 associations to proceed on those properties if required. That's just FYI to the board. It'll be a coordination between the 3 associations to make that happen. There is a significant cost to do that in the range of anywhere between $7,000 and $8,000 to get it done. We, Shamrock Lakes, do not have that deep of pockets right now in our account to do it this year. So I'm proposing we push it to next season so that we can get all the estimates in, discuss it with the other association leadership, and go from there. But that's just an FYI to the town.
Is that, Steve, is that estimate to do all lakes, including
Yes.
Periwinkle and Crestwood?
Yes.
Okay.
So we would have to figure out a split on the cost and all that. But again, that's once we get all of our facts together and then we'll have a meeting and try to get everybody on the same sheet of music. I have talked to Michael Songer. They are very interested on the Periwinkle side to do this. And I've got a message into
Rich?
Rick Schultz to discuss that. If you see him, just mention it to him. Tell him I'm trying to reach out to him. But my clock's like 6 hours different, so I think I'm missing him.
Gotcha.
But So that's kind of a good news thing that we're gonna work together, but, there's a cost to it.
Right, okay,
And the other concern on that one is relocation versus euthanization. Based on our area and where DNR will allow the relocation, they will take them to Huntington, Indiana and drop them. And guess what? That's about a 45, 50-minute drive here. And I think they can fly faster than we can drive. And they're just gonna come back. So the recommendation from the first proposal is euthanization. They do not do that on site. They corral them, load them up, haul them on to wherever they euthanize them, and that will not be seen in public on our properties. However, there's always that risk of if somebody finds out that we're doing that, if that's the choice, that they may protest it, PETA, all that stuff, get involved, and et cetera. So those are the discussions we have to have before we actually pull the trigger on it. No pun intended.
okay. Very good.
Okay, that's the last part of the Geese one, and then I'm ready for the last one. We can go for a turn.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I want to thank Paul Bailey and Dustin Woods. We got a call in from 10 Meridian, and the gentleman that lives there, if you recall, he's the one that had the old car that he finally moved it. It was not plated, probably about 3 years ago, something like that.
Okay,
But anyway, he's got a broken ankle that he's trying to deal with, and he should get released in the next week or two. But he's not able to cut his grass. His wife is not able to cut the grass, so he called in for help. And Paul and Dustin are taking that on as a volunteer project for the town and the Lake Association. And like I said, we do have a list of volunteers that will help on stuff like that. It's about six to eight people on that list right now that we go out and we do things like the self-help project on the ditch there by Wells Park, and then now this gentleman that needed help with cutting grass. So kudos to Dustin, cut the first round, trimmed it. I think Paul's picking up the next one. And I would have too had I been back there, but yeah, what a great job, what a great effort from those two volunteers. And that's all I have.
okay, very good.
Yeah, thank you guys for
Yeah.
doing that.
True spirit of good neighbors.
That's right.
Make a motion.
Fall back from that gentleman, praising those guys for what they're doing. So,
Good deal. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Second, I make a motion.
Okay, second, Steve?
I'm sorry for laughing, boy, he's ready.
Yeah,
Yes, I second that. I think you broke the record here, Mike.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
I'm going to make a motion
go ahead, Kelly.
that we open the meeting for a vote on ordinance number 2025.
Actually, it's gonna be a 2026 ordinance.
Okay.
So, yes, I call this meeting the special meeting to order, for a review and a vote on the ordinance creating and establishing a town park operated by the town council here, Shamrock Lakes. So, we had the reading earlier. And any questions on that? We will have the formal typed one with the correct address of 43 North Shamrock on there. Any questions on that?
Thank you again.
Okay, Paul, anything?
No questions on my end.
Okay,
I make a motion that we accept, is it IC 36-1?
that's the Indiana code.
Oh,
We'll go by the title here.
ordinance creating and establishing a town park operated by town council.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second it.
All in favor of this ordinance creating and establishing a town park operated by the town council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries unanimously. So Diane will get the edits done for the address there. And we'll get that for signatures. Do you have any way of signing, Steve, and getting back to us?
Can we do, Diane, can you do DocuSign?
I can if you send it to me, but I don't know how to send that out. I don't know if that's a program or how you do that.
Good question. I'm not sure, actually. I know if I needs to be a web signature, can that wait until I get back? I'll be back the first week of June.
Okay, Kelly and I can go ahead and sign it. That way we have a signed copy. But yes, because I want to make the sheriff's department aware of that, so it is formally recognized within their system.
Well, they don't need the web copy, so hey, Diane, if you just scan, once you get it done, there's everybody else's signatures, scan it, email it to me, and I'll print it, and I'll sign it and scan it back to you.
Okay.
That'd be great. And I think with just 2 out of 3 would be okay, but 3 out of 3 is even better.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Well, when can Paul be added to this stuff? Does he have to go through all the stuff, formal stuff first?
Yes. The paperwork at the clerk's office and recognized by the party chair or picked by the party chair.
Yeah, I thought so. I think that's what I had to do too. Okay.
That's what we all had to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Very good. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Give me just a minute here